Yo, soft words and harsh truths. You got issues, I got issues, we all do. So free yourself, a safe space for your concerns. We got things to learn, habits to unlearn. Always deconstructing and reconstructing. Can you see the beauty that's in destruction? If there's an end, the new beginning's coming. Nothing comes easy, does it? You gotta really want it. Soft words and harsh truths. You got issues, I got issues, we all do.
Hello and welcome to Healing Out Loud, Unhinged While Anchored. I am your host, Goddess, and I am with DC, the host of What the Shit podcast. Hello, DC.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing. So what are we watching? Because I know that you watch TV while you do these podcasts. So what are we watching today?
The loading screen. I don't have nothing on. I just jumped on and I was going to throw the game on. But I was like, I've done enough of nothing. So nothing's on the screen right now.
All right. Well, DC is, as I stated, the host of What the Shit podcast, but he is also the COO of Opulence Radio. And I am honored to have him here tonight because Not Just a Sorority Girl was able to partner with him and Opulence Radio with a convention that they have coming up in July. Tell us a little bit about that, DC.
Conference. Convention makes it sound bigger than it is right now. It's a nice, grandiose conference. So, a year ago, me and Amron, the CEO of Opulence Radio and the owner, we're having a conversation. I had this idea, I live in Northeast Ohio. There's a bunch of podcasters that don't know each other, but some content creators who don't know each other, have no idea who or what does what. So we were talking. She was always talking about she wanted to do one, but never really, stepped into it. And I was like, well, fuck it. I mean, forget it. I'll do it. I don't know if I can cuss. I'm so used to cussing.
You can cuss.
Okay.
You can cuss.
So I was like, fuck it. I'll do it. And then I was going about it, and I was going to do it. And then she hit me up and was like, hey, so, what do you need for this conference? And I'm like, I don't even know where to begin. I'm just, searching stuff out. So she was like, well, Opulence Radio was going to sponsor it. I was like, oh, well, I did not know that. So fast forward to a few months later, let's say December of last year, maybe November, we got to really talking, nailing stuff down. 6 months into turned into us really nailing down some ideas, locations, just scouting stuff, hosting and all that. And then now here we are, getting so close. July 22nd from 11 to 5 is the conference. It's going to be a block party, discussion panel, networking, meet and greet at the beginning, food trucks. We got vendors coming. It's going to be a good time, hopefully had by all, but also two of the main things is, one, everybody getting to know each other and seeing how we can branch out and help each other climb ladders and break ceilings that, might not normally be broken by, I don't want to say smaller time podcasts, but those people without that major push or backing of having $1 million in followers already, funneled in. And the other thing is, part of the proceeds are going to a wonderful program here in Madison, Ohio called Be Youthful Weirdo, where they take young girls and teach them how to do things. They have a summer camp actually coming up July 14th and 15th, I believe it is. Don't hold me to those dates, but they do a lot of great things. So the other thing was, anytime we do this, and it's going to be a yearly thing, but it's going to be a different podcaster in a different state, hopefully, is the plan. But we pick a local program that's doing things with young people that's trying to create content and things of that nature.
A lot going on.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to remember and try to articulate also at the same time.
And so one of the things that I was really excited about, and one of the reasons I donated, was the fact that you guys are giving knowledge to these creators. And I know that your premise is people of color. It's definitely a Celtic braid that you guys are building within the that particular community. But you guys are giving them knowledge as to not allow them the opportunity to be taken advantage of.
Yes.
And so I think that's really key, because a lot of people, like myself included, we're out here by ourselves, and it's going to be very easy for somebody to say, hey, I like what you're doing. Here's some money. And now I want you to do it completely different. And I
Yes.
think that is a big fear, that people lose their brand. And so you guys providing that knowledge to people is really key. And so that's why I donated. I did donate in my ex-boyfriend's honor, Jan Michael Smith. He created Honor Society Entertainment, and his dream when he was still here was to help people. That was his big mission. His dream was in the music industry. He was a producer of sorts. But this is my way of extending his dream out and hopefully keeping his name active.
Yeah, I mean that's really what it's all about. Cause like when I first got started, I didn't know nothing. Like I was new to the pod. Like I went to school for like broadcasting and TV and radio, and I thought I was gonna do sports talk radio, and then I kind of fell into podcasting, but I didn't know nothing. And then when I started my show, it was so many people, trying to add their own essence to the show, and I had to be cognizant and say no. Like I'm gonna do it the way I envision it, and I don't care about the backing or any of that. If I got to do it alone out of my own pocket, that's how it's gonna be. If I can protect what I create. So along the way, I've had some like I was on Draymo's show, Psychopath, and we had this conversation. I said, people don't realize that you can get into a bad podcasting deal, like a 360 bad podcasting deal, like in the music world, where they sign you to this deal and they're going to back you and everything, but then they want to change everything about what you do and use your name, image, and likeness any way they want to or see fit without you really saying much, because you've already signed the contract. And if you don't read the fine print, now you're locked into this deal where you're just stuck. And a lot of people quit after that because it's like, man, if I can't do the content I want, then what's the point?
Right. And a lot of us are just here because we feel our voice might be something that can help in our own ways. You guys, your show, What the Shit, you host with Chris Fury and Savagely Humble. Both also have their own podcast. Shout out to both of them. I definitely have much appreciation for you, DC, because you were the first to kind of embrace me. I came in like a wrecking ball. It was like, hey guys, here I am. I'm going to start tagging you in posts and I'm going to do all this stuff. But you were the first person that saw what I was doing and embraced it. So I wanted to thank you for that. And because of that, I do have something that I want to share with you. So as you know, I have partnered with One Off Design. They created the Goddess to a Demon shoe collection for me. I was going to partner with them and they were going to work with you to give you creative license on a tennis shoe where you could partner and, do the shoe. With the company that they work with, though, you have to have 7 orders before they put it into production. So that's still an option available to you. But in the interim, because he did create this shoe line for me, I want to donate a pair of the shoes to you, DC. So you will have exclusive Demon tennis shoes. There's only 10 in circulation. Now, I have to be cautious. And I say this because I'm finding this. I tried to get your shoe size without getting your shoe size.
Yeah, nobody knows that.
So I have a few pair 11s, a 10.5. I think I go down to a 9. I didn't get a lot of sizes. But I if you want to donate it, if you want to keep them, it's totally your call. They do retail at $274.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
they are made with leather and suede. And so what the owner Dimitri said is it's an experience. And so I am going to donate that to you.
Oh,
And
thank you.
so once they come in, I'll partner with you offline and get all the information. But I told you my idea is building a Celtic braided community. And I will say that again and again and again and again. And so Dimitri makes shoes, and I happen to know a lot of sneakerheads, so I recognize that the value of the shoe is a little bit of a deterrent. And so what Dimitri is actually trying to work towards is to purchase these shoes in bulk and bring them across the pond and offer them at a lower rate. So that way designer shoes can be available to people who may not have gotten them before.
That's
So
dope.
um I just, I purchased the shoes to make sure that he could get into his elite circle, especially because he worked to create the shoe for me. So I don't wear male tennis shoes, so this is what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to donate a pair to
Thank you.
So, like I said, I will let you know. And One Off Designs is on Instagram as well. Like I said, Dimitri did say that he would be willing to let you create a tennis shoe. Just know that the parameters are that they do have to have 7 pre-orders before they go into production. And so I'll introduce you guys later. But I definitely wanted to do that for you because of what you've done for me. And it's not a tit for tat. Just know that I just see what you're doing and I appreciate you. And so normally I would do this in the goddess seat, but I was anxious and I've been waiting forever just to tell you about these damn shoes.
I appreciate it.
So, as many of our listeners would not know, Opulence Radio is a network, you stated, right?
Building a network. So it's a internet radio station. It started out as an internet radio station, but my goal is since I've joined, being one of the first few shows on it, was I've always seen Amron's vision, and I've always rocked with it. So I'm like, I'm one of them people. If I'm giving you me, then you're getting me. Loud, brash, cocky, and loyal to a fault. So I've always tried to say like it's going to be one of those things that rivals Black Effect or Revolt or some of these big podcast networks with all these dope shows. Like there's a lot of dope shows already on Opulence Radio, and my job is to try to bring more and keep bringing attention to it. So any way I can, that's what I'm going to do. So yes, I'm trying to make sure we are trying to make sure we build it into a network where it's something viable that people, when you hear it, you want to be a part of it. And so that's happening now. There are a lot of people who was like, man, I want to be a part of that, and are joining now and have shows or now doing extra shows. They have 2 and 3 shows on there now. So it's a lot of dope people that's a part of it behind the scenes, and
I'm
also that you
coming.
can see.
I'm coming. I definitely see what you guys are doing, and I just want to be sure, and I know probably nobody's ever thought of this, but I am a weird person. I am not interacting with you guys to become one with Opulence Radio. That is not my goal.
No, I mean that's nobody's goal, but it just happens. The most beautiful thing is it happened organically. Like a lot of these people, believe it or not, I haven't even known a year.
I
Some of
know.
the people, up until I keep pinpointing it. We had a March to the Record book back in January. Um, Another idea that Amaron brought to me back in November was like, hey, let's do something to put the word out about the conference and put some recognition on what's going on. And she's like, let's break a Guinness record. I thought she was joking. I said, whatever. Not gonna say no to a crazy idea. Plus, the way she talks, she has a sweet voice that just lures you in. So it's just
She
like,
does. She does have a pixie energy.
yeah. So
I've
it's like,
seen her
how can I not run through a wall for that? So I was like, you know what? Whatever. I mean, if
The
I,
little Tinkerbell of your guys' group. She's the Black
yeah,
Tinkerbell. And it is so funny. I've only seen her on a couple of lives, so I haven't interacted with her at all. Just, but she's smiley and but I
oh, she
can see she's
definitely, yeah.
got a bite. I can see that there's some bite in
Oh,
there too.
yeah, you definitely can't. Well, that's two things I know. One, she's loving and nurturing, but also she fucks somebody up. Like I've seen both sides of that. Not towards me, but we had some conversations where it was like, hey, let's do this, and she was like, yeah, and also I'm gonna fuck that nigga up. I was like, woo, switch,
It is so funny.
switch.
It is so funny because a lot of my people, the people I've raised, been around, aren't gonna recognize me with your group because I'm nigga this, I'm fuck you bitch, I'm dropping all the dialect is different, but it's part of who I am, but it's not something that they've seen. So it's kind of funny for me because I am having to toe this new line of
Ah, fuck that line.
introducing people to who I am completely. Because I went toe to toe with Smash, and I'm not scared of him. Everybody talks all this head
See, the
about
thing
him.
about the thing about Smash is it's more. He's one of those. He'll show you his teeth, but by the end of the show, he'll be on his back trying to have you pet his back. Like Smash is a great guy.
He's amazing, and it's so
Great
funny.
guy.
I agree with
I've
him a lot.
I've known Smash. I've been matter of fact, probably 6 months into me podcasting, I came across Smash, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, he this and he that." Smash really isn't as bad as people make him out to be.
He's
It's
not.
just he knows if Smash is like a wrestler promoter. He knows when to be, big mouth of the South, and then he knows when to be intellectual. He can do both sides very well. It's just some more times he forgets to cut the character off, and he's like, "All right, nigga, we ain't podcasting. We you can tone that down in the group chats, bro. We don't need all that
I
every
I
day."
called him out the first few minutes of my show that we did. I said, you have two different personalities. I said, you have the personality that you put your one-offs on, his spoken intellect that he puts out. And then he's got his group personality. And he's like, it's the same person. I said, nah, nigga.
Nah,
It's not.
it's
It's
not.
not the same person. But he's got all this bravado, and I just absolutely adore him. He is a big old teddy bear, and I don't care how he says daddy. I just want to go on record.
Everybody got something they like about somebody. I don't like it, but that's just me. If y'all like it, I love it. I mean, it is what it is. I just hearing it is like hearing nails on a chalkboard, or it just
For those who don't know, Big Smash does say daddy with a couple of extra A's.
is it the A D D D? It's
Daddy.
extra. It's Didi. I don't know who the fuck Didi is, but I don't want to meet him. Like that just ain't it. And now that and the more I hear it, like when people was like, "Oh yeah, the way he say daddy is weird," and I'm like, "All right, whatever." And then I start really paying attention to it and hearing it, and now it's just all I hear. Like I don't care what else he's saying in that sentence. As soon as I hear deity, I tune the fuck out. I'm like, nope, I'm out. All this is over for me.
That is too funny. So tell me a little bit more about you. What got you into podcasting?
Uh, life and death, to be honest. So the pandemic started 2020.
Mhm.
April, school shut down. We doing virtual learning. It's 120 people in a class. We got Columbus, three different cities. Nobody knows each other. People who know each other, you can't really talk to them because now it's like 1,000 people talking. And my dad had like fell into a coma the beginning of April. So then we had to pull the plug on him. So I'm going through that. I'm going through virtual school. I don't hear nothing. I'm tuning stuff out. I'm like just falling apart. Chris, my guy, pulled me and was like, "Hey, man, I'm starting a podcast. I want you to be my co-host. Help me out with this show." I said, "Cool. I don't know shit about podcasting. Took one little class at school, and it was like, hey, we record something, and that was it." So I'm like, "Whatever, man. I need something to do. This virtual learning ain't for me because it's just distant learning." So I started on his show, did a month of that, and I'm like, damn, I want to be able to break out of structure and just be free. Like
Hmm.
I'm getting the hang of this, and I can talk shit, and I want to do my own thing. So I actually was gonna start another show called Bro. It was gonna be called Brothers Reaching Out, and I had some people I was gonna bring on, guys I went to school with, like in high school. I was like, hey, let's do this show. Come time to do it. I don't hear much. So now I'm a pivot. I'm not gonna wait too long, and I'm not gonna sit on that idea. Because if I don't do it, somebody else will, and I'm not gonna let you beat me to nothing. So I was like, you know what, whatever. So what the shit was born, July 2020, and I've been doing it ever since. So I really was like in a place where I didn't know what to do or how to finish school, and podcasting kind of really saved my life.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't really like. The more I tell it, the more it just to me it feels, But I don't really often. I don't tell the story on the show because if you weren't there for the beginning, it's kind of like now you got to go back and listen. And then when I do interviews on other shows where I've never been on, I kind of I touch on the story, but I don't get too deep in it because it's just like reliving it is already kind of hard. Um, Especially when April rolls around because he died at the beginning of the month, then his birthday's at the end of the month, so it's like this is the third year we've had to kind of go through it. And this year I didn't really do anything. I just kind of did remembrance, the pictures, the whole everything like that, but it wasn't really like a big thing like we did the last 2 years. I went to his old house. My brother still stay there. We celebrate and everything like that. But now it's just like I'm kind of not gonna say moving on, but I had closure. Like I know he's still still proud, still watching, still watching everything we do and guiding us still in his own ways. So it's not like as sad as it was when it first happened the year after that. Now it's just kind of like um I wouldn't say indifferent, but I've learned how to move through it, and that was part of podcasting. Was part of that, just being able to talk my shit every day, kind of helped me open up and get past all that.
So I want to ask you a question. Is that when you started wearing hoodies?
No, actually, the hoodie thing was Trayvon Martin. I started like when that whole Trayvon Martin thing happened. I don't know. It flipped the switch in me because it was just like that could have been that could have been my brother. It could have been me. It could have been anybody. And the fact that the only thing that you had was a hoodie that, kind of made you feel like he was a thug, I was like, I'm going to embrace that. So now I'm going to change that narrative. So now hopefully you don't judge people just by their hood. Like, and I know it's like a small thing. Nobody really gives a fuck what I'm doing with a hoodie on. But to me, it meant something. And it's just always a way to remember, like, this hoodie, can be a cape or it can be a casket, depending on who's looking at you or how they're perceiving you.
When I was on your show, I called you out on your hoodie because you use them as a barrier. I'm
Yeah,
actually really excited that you don't have one on tonight, but you do. And I recognized it. You don't have hoodies on all the time.
no.
And I do apologize, but this is who I am. You it's a signal. And I've seen it. If you're having a harder day, you'll put a hoodie on. If something is not quite right, you'll have a hoodie on. But if you're happy go lucky, just everything's just kind of even, you show up just like this. It's kind of, and it's not all the time. And I want to be cautious in that vision. But I have recognized that on days that you're not as emotionally up as you want to be, you'll hide in your hoodie.
I wouldn't say hide. To me, having the hoodie up is like putting a football helmet on. It means I'm ready to go to war. This has been lately more of I'm in kind of business, so I can't hide my face. Because back in the day, football players you didn't know who they were because they always wore helmets. When I first started, that's kind of was my thing. Like you weren't supposed to know who I was because when I first started, I was supposed to be the background guy, just make jokes, get in, get out. Not really the face of the whole operation. Slowly, I moved the hood back, as you said, because I noticed that um, not necessarily I was hiding anything. It's just, well, I was hiding my face because, again, I wasn't supposed to be the face. But more pushback because I felt like I'm good at what I do. Ain't no point of hiding it. And the hoodie was kind of hiding it. It was kind of giving off that false, like, he's angry kind of thing. But it was also just it feels good. The hood up feels good. I don't know why. It's just always, it was always, that was the part of the cake to me that felt good. Having the hood up. Having it down, I hear too much. The hoodie muffles a lot of things. It deflects a lot of negativity and BS.
So you're an energy person.
Yes, most definitely. If the vibe in the room and when I walk in is off, the hoodie goes up and it's like sonar. It detects who's on BS and kind of,
I get really anxious, especially now because I've come through my healing. And so now I'm open and I feel it in my arms, or I get like adrenaline rushes if the room is off. And if I become uncomfortable, I've got to go. Like, it's because if I don't, I'm going to absorb all of those negative emotions. And then I've got to deal with those for the next week.
Yeah, see, that's why I heard wear a hoodie, because I don't get none of that. It's just like I'll have one on. I might not have the hood up, but I still, not like a security blanket, but it's just it's been ingrained in me for so long to have one. It just feels natural. It just feels they're comfortable. Not only that, but they're a great fucking fashion statement. Who doesn't like a good hoodie? They got sleeveless ones that I just wear sometimes just because. Especially after a good workout, I just put a good hoodie on without sleeves. I'm just out here. Long sleeve, short sleeve, no sleeves. I got hoodies for all occasions.
I have claustrophobia, so I when I pull over a hoodie, I don't like it. I have to have a zip up.
Oh no, I love it.
I can't. Something about it, which is funny that I don't like it, but I'll wear them, but I don't like to. I won't keep it on because I feel trapped in a hoodie.
I can feel
it. So your host, Chris Fury, that's the Chris that brought you in.
Mm-hmm.
Papa Bear. Yeah, I love that he's taken over that moniker. He's embraced it.
I will not call another grown man Papa Bear, but that's, whatever.
But I could do it. I'm allowed.
Women can do it. There's a lot of things women can do that men can't. I'm not calling another grown man Papa Bear, Daddy, Delicious. None of that. None of that. Nothing.
I got to sit with Chris, and I actually want to start doing like it more often because I had so much fun with him. We talked Disney movies and we put real life plot lines into it, and it was just so much fun because it's amazing how different perceptions of the same movie can be had, and so I was just really excited about that. So that was my blurred moment. And I know you're not a true blurred. You have some blurred in you, but
I'm blurred adjacent. I'm not deep in the roots, in the backwoods of it, and I don't mean that with any disrespect. I just mean there's some people who are rooted in that world, and I am not. I never dressed. Well, Halloween, I guess that was me doing cosplay, but it wasn't like me knowing I was doing it. But I do love Marvel movies, all that. I watch some animes. I don't get too deep in them because I don't know no Japanese, so I can't read none of that stuff. So if it ain't in English, I ain't doing it. Sorry. If the subtitles ain't right, I ain't doing it. Sorry. I know there's some purists out there who call it blasphemy. But, hey, I ain't got time to be trying to learn a whole nother language and watch a movie, B. I ain't got time.
I do make some people mad because I have I like Marvel. I've watched them all out of order though, so I don't know the story. I don't follow it. You know,
Nah, that's where I get a little upset because I've watched them all. I've watched them all in order. I love Marvel. I used to love DC until they start messing up the money. Because Superman was my first. Like I have the tattoo, Superman tattoo. Superman, Deadpool, Wolverine. Those are my three favorite superheroes growing up. All for different reasons because they all had different qualities that I adopted. I guess my dad used to call me mild manner because no matter there's not too much that can get me, out of my zone. So I was always mild mannered. Now there was another side to me that was always mischievous, but I never let people see that. But it's just all different things. But yeah, the watching them out of order, that is, oof.
I watched them as they came out, so I didn't do like the ramp up. I don't have 24 hours in my day to dedicate to, a revamp of the movies. But I did develop some, attachments to a few of them, but not enough to know their names. Like in Captain America, the assassin guy.
Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes,
Bucky. I
his
like
best friend.
Yeah, I like Bucky. I liked that Captain America gave his shield to
Sam
Wilson. See, I've never been into characters. Like I don't really follow the person. So like when I was growing up, I would love a song but not know who sang it because they didn't matter to me. I just liked the song. So
I love a good character. I'm very character driven.
I'm trying. It's hard because I like storylines. I get caught in the storyline. So the character is interchangeable.
To me, they're not. Growing up, I've had this grand imagination. Even my dreams are like movies. So I've always been focused on the people. I love sociology and psychology. What makes people tick? What makes people do the things they do? What gets people to that point to where they're happy enough that they snort when they laugh? Sometimes that's be my goal when I have a guest on my show is can I make them laugh enough that they snort? Really, honestly, I'll tell nobody that. This is the first time I've ever honestly said that out loud. And I'm not even like a comedian. I don't write jokes. I have good comedic timing. Like, I will never become a comedian because I can't write. I don't like writing. Probably why I never wrote a script or anything. I love sketch comedy. I love like Saturday Night Live is one of my favorite shows. In Living Color, favorite show still. Mad TV, like those are the type of things that I love.
I liked Mad TV and I liked In Living Color. I never really got into Saturday Night Live. It was very dry. Sometimes they have some good skits, but they're too political. And so
I just to me it's the characters that they bring out. Some of their characters are really they're like highbrow comedy.
Will Ferrell is an actor that because of Saturday Night Live was stuck to his character. He was never able to branch out of that stupid slapstick.
Yeah, but I don't think I want to see him as anything else.
He was not able to. It's the same as Jack Black. He's got one character,
Yeah, but see, there's some people who that one character, no matter how many different times they change the name, they're still amazing.
I love Jack Black. I'm just saying, like, when you see him, I couldn't see him do a deep, sentimental movie because I'm gonna want to have him start singing Peaches or something.
Yeah, but I think that's what's wrong with the world. We have too many serious thespians and not enough just balls to the walls comedy. Ryan Reynolds, one of my favorite actors of all time.
I love Ryan Reynolds. Chris Farley was a really good.
Chris Farley's another one. I don't need the world is too serious sometimes. We need people who have no problems making fun of themselves to make the
David
world laugh.
Spade was really funny too, but after Chris Farley died, he just lost his light.
Yeah.
It's been Robin Williams. You know what though, and Robin Williams is an amazing comedic actor. And I bring him up because everybody thought that he had unalived himself because he was depressed, and it came out that he had a medical condition that was uncurable, and so he did that. I would assume so his family didn't have to watch him suffer. Not to take away from the pain of the situation, but it did. I'm gonna be honest, it did make me feel a little bit better, because he was such an amazing man, you know.
Oh yes.
And I bring that up because you guys have used comedy as a way of healing. You, Raw, Smash, Eric has been up on the show with you guys, Chris, you know, and it's really important. And I love what you guys are doing. Raw is definitely one that is, you have to know him to love him.
Yeah.
Because he is very rough. His name fits him. He is very raw. He's going to come from the hip, you know, and it's his truth. But you have to recognize that it's his truth, but there's no animosity or meanness behind it.
No.
He's just raw, you know,
Yeah.
and I think that he is part of a demographic. He is part of a piece that is needed for a demographic, because he allows space to just be an asshole, you know, but he's a pleasant, sometimes asshole, but all of us will talk shit about him, you know.
I talk shit about him to his face all the time. Hell, I text him sometimes and tell him he ain't shit just because.
But
that's who he is, though. He can, like, those are the type of people that I can hang out with. I wouldn't say I'm full-fledged asshole. You know, I still got, you know, some love
you're
in my
not.
heart. But those are the type of people I can hang out with. The people who can dish it and take it. I'm not for the weak. I'm gonna say what I need to feel, but I'm not. I'll give it to you in a way to where you feel like I'm joking. You know,
I've done that too, and that's a self-defense mechanism. But you know, it's a way of delivering the truth in a non-threatening way.
Yeah.
An attempt to, so it is a self-defense mechanism. You're trying to avoid conflict, but you still want to get your point across. And I do that myself, so I recognize it, and I understand it completely.
I don't want to hurt feelings all the time. Sometimes I want to be able to say some things, but I don't really the conflict I'm cool with sometimes, but sometimes I'm just tired. I'm not really.
So I just want to let my listeners know that DC is full of shit. DC is probably got the biggest heart in his group of people. Really Chris might have him beat a little bit, but he does. And I'm going to say this, and I mean it with 100% conviction. DC is laying the concrete to help his friends find foundation. So while he's got this big bravado about being this asshole, he is truly genuine, and his passion is his people. So fuck what he's talking about. Fuck what he's talking about on being an asshole.
I never said I was an asshole. I said I'm kinda sometimes.
Sometimes not.
But what you just said is true. I've always believed that you are nothing without dope people around you. I don't care.
Absolutely.
Who you think you are, how far you think you're gonna go. At some point, you need dope people. That's just the way it is. And I'm not talking about using dope people to get what you need and, you know, discarding them. I mean, building a foundation, building a table where everybody can sit at this table and we can all exchange the same lunch and it be equal or better value.
So I'm going to do you one better. Let's take away the table. Nobody eats at a table anymore. Let's just get together and sit. Because if you keep putting us at a table, that's a formation. And then that's a structure. None of us are structured. So let's just get together and shoot the shit and be real. Because that's really what you guys are doing. That's what all of us are doing, is we have found a way to be real in a non-threatening way. And what you and Opulence Radio are doing is helping, because you're giving a stage to people who would not have had a stage before, allowing their voice to possibly reach more people, which is the goal. You know, you guys have self care, you guys have the true street, you guys have all these different genres available. So it's like you guys are making sure that you can connect to different pockets. And although the Opulence Radio is a premise for people of color, I just want to say you guys are not discriminating against any other people either. It's just you guys are definitely supporting people of color. And so I just wanted to make that clarification, because there are some listeners who would get all up in their feelings. And it's really what you guys are doing is amazing. You know, it's another stage.
I would
And
say to those people, don't.
exactly.
We don't just I'll put it like this: if we were serving dinner, yes, we would try to serve black people first, because we have been the ones who haven't had that opportunity that we're trying to provide. When I started in this, there's been a bunch of these networks and this and that, but you know, they're so segmented and few and far in between. And like I said, I'm from Ohio, so I didn't really have one to grasp onto. So I always said, like, you know, I wanted to be able to, when I get the chance, or if I get the chance, help someone grow theirs. I was a part of a network. It didn't go anywhere because if I'm out working the person who's supposed to be working for me, then what do I need you for? That's just how I've always felt. So I bounced around, you know, was homeless for a while. What the shit was just out here, you know, in the stratosphere. And then I stayed up late at night researching and developing and, you know, doing all these different things to figure out how to not only get myself, you know, get what the shit out there and get it reaching, you know, be able to grasp listeners. But then once I have this knowledge, what do I do with it? Because that was the other part of when I started. There was people who had knowledge, but they didn't want to share it out of fear. You know, they didn't want to be surpassed or watch somebody else take their stuff. And if it worked for them and it didn't work for me, then, well, shit, what am I doing? I don't have that fear because I'm playing with house money. I started with nothing but just me and a mic, somebody else show I was on, and I ventured out and created my own out of the dirt. And it was my vision, my idea,
and
my
you're
blood
over
that went on it.
200 episodes, right? How many episodes? 100. How many episodes?
I have 100. I'm 8 seasons in, 110 episodes now, somewhere around there. Um, so by far have I mean, 3 years. It'll be 3 years July that I've been doing podcasting. So I'm not by far doing anything that others haven't done. I just been doing the work. I mean, people ask me like, "Oh man, what are you doing?" Nothing. Literally, just I stayed up late some nights, looked at what was going on, looked at other people's stuff. I researched. It, I coach football, so it was like watching game film, researching what's working, what plays are not working, what's going on, and what are some of the bigger known people doing besides already having a name and money, and now they're just jumping into podcasts, and so they already have fans that they're bringing over. I mean, there's a bunch of really different things that people can do. I just found what works for me. And then I kind of want to share that information with people so they can try and, try to make it work for them or tweak it and make it, something different. But if you have knowledge and you're not sharing it, then what's the point of having knowledge?
Exactly.
Say you're the smartest man on earth. I mean, that sounds cool, but
and a lot of people, they want to profit off of the knowledge that they have, and I am definitely not a person that does that. Like I've got an extended platform. I was like, hey, you guys can use my StreamYard. You guys, I've never, if I've got it, you've got it. That's just always been my mentality. But I do want to go on and say, and pardon my daughter in the background, but
dogs in the background most of the time, and people running through like stuff's on fire, and this is actually the quietest it's been in 6 months in my house. Like right now, at this point, right here and now, it's the quietest it's been.
Well, I just want to go on record and offer myself to you and to Amron I am really good at posting. And the way you guys are going to get attention is through posting. So if you guys send me all of your posters, all of the cover photos, I'll tag them in and pull them into my algorithm. I really, that's just what I'm trying to do, is just open the audiences. And you see, I'm on social media all day, and I have that Meta business, so I can schedule them, so I don't have to be online.
Yeah, I gotta get better at that. I'm one of them. I post a lot more than I used to, especially when I first started. Like the first 6 months of me starting, I used to dread social media. I used to, Chris was like, "Ah, yeah, I got to get this post up," and I was like, "Man, I'm about to fuck that post. I'm not posting. I got time for this. I got stuff to do."
Yeah,
And then
I
I
just
really started posting and started really seeing, like, if I engage with people more and they see me, it makes it more personable. So it makes it more, when I show clips, they're not just like, "Oh, they're just doing this for the show." No, I'm this dumbass crazy all day long.
yes,
Because now
and
you get to see me on a live or
I
other
just
people's
really
show.
want to support you guys. And
Appreciate it.
I've been trying to do that in my little ways, and just finding stupid reasons to tag you guys in a post, and just um but I've seen the fruit of those actions. I've seen some of my true followers are now following other people, and then I'm getting people too. And that's really what I'm trying to do, is just open up our network.
It's
Um,
grassroots. It's very grassroots. Like I didn't realize like tagging people was important. Like I said, the first I learned all this in about 6 months to a year of really digging into like hashtags and tagging people and just all that other stuff. But it really does help. People don't think that sharing one post makes a difference. Like sometimes that's all the difference that all you need to make. Like, um, and a lot of people get discouraged because it's like, oh, people aren't sharing it. But it's like, yeah, but these 3 people shared it, and that goes a little longer than having 50 people share it baselessly for no reason.
when
So
I
it's
did
all
my live on Sunday, I'll be honest, I cried afterwards. I actually posted my premiere episode off of my emotions, um, because even though I'm okay and I understand the premise of lives and now that people aren't going to show up, and
oh yeah.
it was still hard for me because I mean, you were there, Raw was there, Savage was there, Dramo was there. That was all my new people. And so I didn't have any of my people show up. And so I was really hurt.
But
And
here
so I broke
I'm
down.
I'm gonna tell you something I learned a long time ago. And this is before I even started podcasting. The people who know you aren't really gonna support you, not the way you think they are. You know, my mom didn't start listening to my show until like the second year. like so, like she loves my shit now, but like the first year, she was just like, because people who know you don't think, not that they don't think you're gonna do it or make it, but they know you, so they already feel like, well, I know them, and I tell them in person that I love them, and I like what they do, so that's enough. But social media wise, that's not shit.
Right.
Tell me on my post, mom, you love me.
Right.
Share my stuff and tell me you love me. That makes the most sense. But people aren't going to support you when they know you until they start seeing you bigger outside. You
Yeah.
know,
And I'm afraid of that too, because I don't want them to just be trying to be my friend because they think I'm going to get them some kind of attention,
oh man, everybody who know me, I ain't giving them shit. So they already know.
but I'm a genuine spirit, and I have Demon, who is there to protect me in a way, and I've got a few barriers set up to kind of help, but this is generally who I am, and I give without even thinking sometimes. I have money in my account, and I'm like, who can I give this to? And then I'm like, son of a bitch, how am I going to live?
Yeah, you gotta don't do that. Um, no, I'm giving, but I'm giving of time. I'm giving of effort. I'm not giving nobody no money if I ain't got it. I just can't do it. Um, but it is hard when people, especially when you first starting, You feel like everybody should be already on board. You got 1,000 friends that you've known since high school and middle school, and you're like, damn, but only 5 people like this post. That was something I kind of struggled with. Then I was like, I started telling myself, like, fuck it. Because the people who don't know you sometimes be your biggest supporters. The people who you meet,
I give
through
myself
this journey.
I just need one like. And I have got a super fan, Brian Austin, and I'm going to show him some love right here. He has been following me for years.
The guy with the Denver Broncos sign?
Yeah.
Okay, what's up? Yeah, I'll be seeing him. I'll be like, man, that guy's on every post.
He is the best for metrics. And, you know, he follows me on every social media platform and he's liking my posts. So I know I will at least get that one like. You know,
that's for me. That's all it takes. Like now, I'm starting to see. You know, my reach is bigger, likes and this and that bigger. But now I'm to the point to where it doesn't affect me as when I first started, because I know that's not gonna change my content. Like I used to be like, oh man, if I get some people like, if you get this many likes, I'll do this. I'm not changing my content for likes. I'm gonna give you the same show whether it's one person watching or 5,000 people watching. You're still getting the same rambunctious foolishness. Like it's not. I don't do it for the likes. I do it because I genuinely love what I do, and if people like it, cool. If they don't, turn the channel. There's 1,000 other things you can do. But I appreciate you for watching. I'm not saying don't watch, but I'm just saying, the way I do things isn't dependent on likes anymore. I'm at a point to where I do it because I genuinely love what I do. Now, back when I first started, I was thirsty for them likes, and I felt dependent on it. And I was like Pookie on CB4, and I was just like, man, gotta get these likes. What can I do for these likes? I need them, man. And I was just like sitting here in the dark after a show, and there was like one person watching. I'd be like, damn. But then I started thinking about it. That one person watched from beginning to end, and they commented. And they enjoyed and they engaged. And then that one person turned to 2 and 3. And then even if 3 people watched for 3 seconds, that's 3 seconds that they spent with us. They could have been doing something else. So I will tell anybody who's starting out, don't get caught up in the like game. Because a lot of people's buying their likes anyway. Come on now.
And that's been a theme on today's shows is the buying of the likes. But you know, I think for me, I was lucky because I fell into a really good group by accident.
I have too.
You know, I think for me, my interview was with Smash. You know, it was so funny because he popped up in my box. He's like, yo, the streets are saying that we need to collab.
Yeah, because we was talking about it in a group chat we had, which I got out of it because I need my peace. I don't got time to be answering. I'm a people person, but sometimes I just be like, leave me alone. I don't feel like interacting. I ain't trying to say good morning.
It's he's the first interview though that I came in talking shit. Like
he's that energy. He gives you that energy that you got to come in on 100 with him. I don't care what it is, group chat, whatever it is. Anytime he speak, I feel like I got to come at him at 1,000. It don't even be on purpose. It's like good morning. I'm like, nigga, is it really a good morning though? Huh? Is it? I'm like,
why are you bothering me, nigga?
Yeah, like nigga, this what they need for you. I was like, they chat don't work, nigga. You had to go to a group chat to talk to one person. That's not how a group chat works. I don't know if you know this, but a group chat is for the many, not for the one.
But it was fun, and then he jumped on a live with me, and that was nerve-wracking. But
yeah, doing a live with him. See, here's the thing with Smash. When it's a controlled environment, it's cool. You know, you give him a line or two, it's cool. You unleash that nigga to a live event, oh, he's liable to say anything.
Yeah, he was on one earlier with his show for this evening. He said that he's going to put me on the hot seat with Smash and Raw.
Good luck with that. I ain't been on that show yet. I'm cool. I've been on enough shows with these niggas. I'm tired of seeing them.
I was like, you guys are on each other's shows all the time. I'm ready to Ra's avoiding me right now, but I need to get him in the goddess seat.
I'm avoiding all of them, but
What's that?
nothing.
You
I'm
avoided.
avoiding everybody, but that's
You
I've
did.
been sick.
This was the most difficult interview
All
that
I'm not gonna lie, all week I have been just not feeling it. Even before I got sick, I'm at a point to where I've been doing so much, and now doing the COO thing, or trying to
So
push
let
the
me
event.
ask you something. When do you take time for you?
Oh, I always take time for me.
Really take time for you?
Oh no, really, trust me, I really take time for me. Like I will shut off the world, turn off my phone on vibrate. I turn music on, video games or the game or something like that, and I just chill. Take a drink of tequila, Tijuana, because that's all I drink. But I do. People don't think I don't take time for me. Like people don't think I all I do is work, but I really don't. Like um,
I want to go on
90%
record and say I've been going on a record with you a lot today. Um,
true.
you are a very emotional person. You and I see it, but you don't show it.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful it's a good thing. And I'm giving you a compliment, so knock it off.
Oh no, I mean,
I'm just saying that I see your spirit, and you spoke of your dad and the love you have,
mhm.
that carries. And I won't stay here because I know it makes you uncomfortable, and I apologize, but I just really
I
wanted
mean,
to hear.
no, I can talk about my dad. See, because me and my dad didn't always have the best relationship. Growing up, he wasn't around for whatever reason. Things happen. My parents were never married, so it wasn't like any of that. So, he was a truck driver too, so he had his issues with drugs when I was younger. But he turned his life around, became a minister. But my dad was always that testament that anybody can turn their life around and deserves a second chance. So that's part of the reason why I always never really kind of turn my back on people until they really show me like they ain't shit or they ain't good for me. Because if my dad can go 18 years of doing drugs, maybe a little more, but still can try to be a good father through those moments, turn his life around, go through rehab, become an ordained minister, run a church, be part of a church his last, 10 years on this earth, and really help the homeless, do all these different things. It just showed me that nobody's too big to help anybody. Um, and that's kind of where that spirit came from, especially like when he passed. It really was like, I want to kind of carry on, some of the things he was about, helping people, making sure people are good, making sure if anybody believes in what I'm doing and they're a part of it, that if I get up, they come with me and they're not just like doing something like, oh, he's there. I got him sweeping the floor because he believed in me. No, I want you to have a prime position because he was there from the get go. So it's just those little things that always sit with me. Like loyalty is something that is earned, not given.
Absolutely.
I don't ever because I've given loyalty to people and they turned their back on me, and I still to this day, even when I started up until now, there's people who have done me wrong, owe me money, this and that. I ain't never really spoke on it, ain't put them out in public. I just said, hey, you showed me your true colors, so when shit pops, don't come back. Some of them people started following me now. I unfollowed them, unfriend them. I have nothing to do with them. I won't. I don't need to see what you're doing. I don't care what you're doing. I'm not about to look out of petty spite. Like, is he doing bad? Is he doing good? I don't really care. To me, it's a oblivious thing, out of sight, out of mind. So I've noticed, one of those people follow me. Like it's like you owe me money. You see I'm doing stuff, but now you want to watch what I'm doing instead of you could have been a part of this because you were a part of it, but now you rather watch on the outside looking in. For what reason?
Yeah.
It just
I've
don't make sense to me.
I've got several people in my past as well that have lived with me and didn't pay me anything, and then the minute that I needed help, moved out.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand and respect your stance on that. I'm always an emotional person. I I have a way and a knack of getting people to talk about things that they probably weren't wanting to talk about. But um, I want you to know, especially as a Black man, I know that it's not easy to be as emotive as you are, even though you do keep it to a minimum.
Oh, very
And
minimal.
I respect you for that. It's not, and I would really like to have more safe spaces where Black men feel able to be free in their emotion, because I really think that you guys got a bad rap. um, I do feel that for a lot of the male demographics, the Black man is the one that's held closest to the fire, with regards to how much responsibility they have their jobs. You know, it's not to take away from any other race. It's just there is a different level of accountability assessed to the Black man by a lot of people. And
Oh,
so
definitely.
I know that that hasn't been easy, but I just wanted to give you some props for that because you do emote and you do show a softer side to you. Sometimes it slips out and you reel it back in really quick, but you
Oh,
know,
only so much in moderation.
I just
Um,
it's not easy and I appreciate you for it.
Thank you. No, it's not that I don't like doing it. It's just that too many times you watch people their emotion be their downfall.
Mhm.
It get used against them, and all this and that. I give people what I want them to see. Um, Even when people think they see what they want to see, it's really not. Like you're getting me, but it's the versions that I need you to see. Um, I have a job to do, and I do it damn well, and I know this. I would be lying if I didn't say otherwise, or I still wouldn't be here, or still wouldn't be,
Mhm.
as well regarded as I am, I guess, depending on who you ask. Some people fucking hate me, but then I don't really care. But no, I just refuse to be held to something I either said in the past or done in the past. So I erase all that when I need to, when I have to, and when I want to. Um, I've
Well, when
never not.
I watched a show with you on Smash and Raw, and I told you that you had regained some of your brownie points with me because you spoke on what you're looking for in a relationship and you actually spoke on real stuff and not just the surface stuff that the guys
Oh
were talking
yeah,
about.
no, I don't. I don't never go into them shows trying to see. A lot of times, and I'm not saying them, but a lot of times those type of shows, a lot of guys say things because they want to be hated or whatever. I don't really care. I'm a married man. I'm gonna tell you what I feel. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I'm an old man at that. I'm old. I don't got time to be out here trying to be uh what are them, the fit and fresh boys, the passport guys, them Negroes that's out here secret like hating women on screen but secretly behind closed doors eating booty like groceries and shit and bowing down and being choked and chained and whipped and stuff. I don't have time for that. It ain't in me. I'm gonna tell you what I like and what I don't like, and you deal with it as best you feel.
I
Um,
I feel that
I
100%.
like honesty and realness. I don't like all that. I know what I like, and I refuse to like sugarcoat it or play it down because I'm on. No, I refuse to. I refuse to. I'm sorry. I'm old. I'm crotchety. I'm 62 in dog years. I don't have time to be playing games. Like,
Is that even 62? Is
yeah,
that a,
I see. I tell people that. Like, and me
is
and
that like a
Savage.
total of 7?
I don't know.
I
I don't know. I don't know how dogs age. I think it's like
I
seven
think
for every.
56 would be the closest, right?
I'm an old dog. That's
Oh
all I
god.
know. I don't know. I don't know ages. I just
I
know
could
I'm
be wrong
old.
too. I don't math.
So I just know I'm old as shit, and I don't really. But no, I don't really go into, especially like those type of things because I feel like women are looking for real answers. So why would I? Why would you ask a real question of a man wanting his honest opinion and then be lied to you? I'm
Right.
doing you a disservice if I lie to you. You know, if
Yeah.
my son come to me and ask me an honest question like, "Dad, I don't understand this. Tell me," and then I lie to him, it's gonna fuck him up for life. So
That's one
a
of the
lot of
reasons
times,
Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and all of that stuff out of my house.
yeah, and a lot of times we got to realize as guys, women sometimes don't know us as well as we think they know us. It's like I don't know shit about women. I'm married. I don't know shit about women. I'm learning every day, and I will tell
You
you
know,
the truth.
it's really funny. Demon knows me better than I know me.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like that's those these are opportunities that we can help each other. Women like, and I commend Raw for having them type of shows where he sits a bunch of men down, gets real questions for. Well, some of them questions was dumb as shit. I'm
They
sorry,
were
but
dumb as hell.
sorry. Some of them were dumb, but at the same time, they're learning experiences because now we see how women think. Some women really
I
think these
actually,
things.
I actually, and yeah, I'm coming to you as the COO. I need a rebuttal show. I really do. I need all of us women to be on a show because we're coming for you because y'all were fucking crazy.
I wouldn't. I have nothing to do with that.
You
That is
just,
between.
you guys were just guys, and we need to give us some questions so we can answer.
Well, Raw actually he does both sides. That's Raw's thing. I'm not going to bogart it. I'm not going to take over his premise. Like I said, that to me is one I love doing those when he asked me to do those.
They're
I had to
a
say
lot of
yes
fun.
because I've done two of them where there were women and there were some podcasters we know, and they were just real questions that women wanted honest opinions on or just wanted to
But
know
to be
these
fair,
things.
some of the questions I didn't approve of because it was almost as if they were holding you guys accountable for the whole male species.
Yeah, I don't
And
care. I'll still answer
I
those
was like,
questions.
why do men cheat? I don't know. Why is the
Uh,
sky blue? Why do
Why
plant
does
burgers
water
taste
taste
better
like
than
water?
regular
I don't
burgers?
know, but I can still try to answer that. Maybe that nigga has found something else outside that he didn't like inside. I
Maybe.
don't know, but I still have fun answering those type of questions because it's for me. It's all about different levels of conversations.
Yeah,
Every
you
show
guys.
doesn't have to be the same. Every conversation doesn't have to be, oh, did you see R. Kelly got 20 years? Like for 4 weeks when that all that happened, that's all everybody was talking about. And I'm just like, dog, if this show talked about it, you're not gonna hear it here. I'm not really trying to talk about none of the stuff everybody else is talking about. Which is why I love doing interviews so much because it's that chance to give a light to people who might not be known. Like last this Wednesday just passed, which I'm rescheduling. I had a scientist from London coming on, 1 a.m. in London. That's different. How many cats is interviewing cats from London in the middle of the night? You know.
Yeah,
So
no,
I always love dope, different content. That's why um, I feel like my show has stood out because it's never this. I'm not gonna say it's never the same. You know, sometimes it's interview after interview after interview, but it's never the same interview.
it
Um,
gave me my start.
yeah, I mean, and that's really right now what it's about. It's giving people a voice, giving people opportunity to be heard. I built a little bit of a following, built a fan base. I'm on Pandora, so I have a little more reach. So now it's like, okay, now the people who are coming on are getting, actual something out of it other than just us asking them dumbass questions and laughing all night, which is still fun. But I feel like now I'm providing more opportunities, and that's really
I
to me what it's about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's kind of where I was with the one off designs and the tennis shoes. And, it's, we need to take these people and put them into a platform because that's what we're here for. And it does nothing for me to post these shoes, of course, I have a stake in them since they were derived off my love story. But,
Yeah,
I really, really think that that's where a lot of people fail is they refuse to work with other people.
yeah. Um, that's and like I said earlier, being scared to let somebody else shine in your presence. Like I think that's my biggest thing. I have no what's that word? Not pride. Shame. I have no shame. So I'm not afraid to let other people shine. My ego's not too big to fail. So it's not like I don't really care if somebody looks good on my show, and it's like, oh man, fuck DC, but you see what's his name? It's like, I don't really care. I'm gonna be here next week. They won't be, but I'll be here next week. So nothing to do with me regardless. I'm glad I'm glad you like them. Go follow them, but make sure you come back here next week. I don't really care. I like pride is a foolish thing. Like it's one of those things where people have failed because of their pride. I've worked with so many different people doing this that I've met so many dope people just by not being prideful. There were some people I was like, I'll never work with them for no reason. I don't even know why. I don't even know why. Based off maybe somebody else said, or whatever rumor mill that people subscribe to. Threw all that out the window. Was just like, you know what? People are going to be people. I'm not going to get to know that person unless I get to know that person, not whatever somebody makes them the carbon copy or straw man. Yeah, straw man thing somebody makes, this effigy that they had, like, oh, he's an asshole, this and that. Because I'm pretty sure in certain circles, I'm an asshole. I know. Believe what you want about me not being an asshole, but there's some people.
So I don't think that you're an asshole. If I think that you have a very detached personality, so you are able to assess your situations a little bit better. And so I think because your emotions are not right there on the surface, people can assume that you're an asshole because you don't present as somebody that's approachable. But I've never, ever had hesitation with you. Like, I was just, I'll be honest, I had not even watched any of your shows when I started pushing you up into my story. I didn't know anything about you. I saw you and I just pushed you up. You and Geek Salad.
My guys, man, I love fucking Geek Salad. REAG. Those are I don't want to say this out loud because I deal with a lot of podcasters, but I fucking love REAG. Those are two of the most genuine guys on God's green earth. Like, I mean, just like two just salt of the earth guys. Like, you couldn't ask for two better people. Like, let's just chop it up on a Saturday. Like, there are a lot of people who I would, but those are two guys, like, you ask me off the top of my head, like, hey, who? Geek Salad, for sure. Those are two guys that are just fucking dope. REAG, man, because when I first started on Chris's show, they came on there, blast, had a fucking 2-hour conversation with these guys. And ever since then, we've always had this just genuine, like, if we can work together, let's find a chance to work together. So those are two guys that are dope. I can't say enough about them. But I don't want to, because now I start lingering and people are like, well, what about me? You know
what? No, I'm glad you said that, because we have to get to a point where people recognize that you loving on REA. I always say his name wrong.
REAG.
It's not taking away from.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's not you saying that you fuck with them more. It's just saying that you fuck with them and you have mad respect for them, but it's not
respect. And I don't even deal with them like on a daily basis like some other people. It's just, some people feel like if I a group chat rock with you and I should be name dropping you, and it's like, I don't really name drop anybody, to be honest with you. At least
I talk about everybody. I think I do it instinctively, because if I say like Uncle Dolomite, well, everybody knows I'm crushing on Dolly, so they expect me to say it, but they're going to be like, why does she keep talking about him? Let me go check him out.
I do it more in text and posts. When I'm in interviews, I rarely name drop like people outside of, if I'm talking about What the Shit, I talk about Chris and Savage, of course, because they're co-hosts. I gotta talk about them. I can't talk about What the Shit without them, because it's not just me. But like talking, if we mention Smash and Raw, yeah, I'm a big up them, but I don't just deliberately name drop. To me, it just feels, and this is just me, I've never been a name dropping kind of guy. Like, oh yeah, well, I did such and such with so and so. It just, to me, feels weird. And I've always had that, even like growing up. Even if I hung out with somebody cool, I wouldn't be like, go to the next table the next day and be like, guess whose house I was at last night.
Yeah, I hung out with that I can see. I just try to instinctively name drop. I definitely find a way for them to be in the conversation, though. Yeah, especially like with Dolomite, and I talk about him all the time, and I'm going to continue to talk about him all the time, especially because I found out today that there's people that think that him and I are motherfucking twins. Why? Because we're yellow?
I
Is
have
that
no
is that
idea.
a yellow joke? You know, we're not twins.
I
He's
haven't looked at
darker
it.
than me. He's darker
I,
than me.
I would have to see a picture side by side to give a ruling, but all I know is I don't have a problem with people name dropping. It's not for me. That's all I can say.
I
I
get it
can't tell
though.
nobody else what to do,
But you're
or
in a
how to
different
think or feel
position
or
than I
something.
am too. Because if I say somebody's name, it's not taking it as name dropping. It's just Goddess is just fucking talking again, you
Mhm.
know. But if you say somebody's name, then you run the risk of why didn't you talk about me?
Yeah, because it looks like I'm playing favorites,
Right.
and I don't play favorites. I don't, and that's the one thing I need people to realize. If somebody's on my show and they're on there multiple times, it's because they either ask or they provide content. I don't play favorites. I don't pick people because I like them. I pick people because they work well, or they know how to work, or they're fucking professional. Because like I said, I'm at a point to where I can't just be picking everybody because some people don't provide that spark,
They get on there and they're just dry.
or some people get on there and they bullshit. And I don't mean the good kind of bullshit where they're adding value, laughs, and jokes. They're just on there just saying goofy shit just because they feel like it's something to do. Do that on your own time. I don't have time to for goofy shit anymore. And I'm not saying it like I'm a big time anything, but I also take my what I do seriously. Especially if you have a podcast and you know how this game works, and you go on somebody else's show and you start doing goofy shit. It's a bad look because now it's like on your show you want peace and respect and decorum, but then you go on somebody else's show and you super amped up, Adderall free. Like what the fuck?
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And I know both of us have an engagement to get to soon. So I am going to put you in the goddess seat.
Oh,
And so the
okay.
goddess seat is where I just show some love to you. And I've kind of been doing that this whole hour and it's some change. But again, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, just for openly accepting me. Um, you put me on your show, and I kid you not, it's just been a whirlwind. It was just all of a sudden I'm doing shows and I'm doing all these different things, and it's because of you, and me. I mean, I'm pretty awesome,
Well, I was
but
about to say don't. I will tell people this: give me 10% of the credit. Maybe 5. I take a good 5. I don't like because everybody needs a chance, and if I can be that chance, and if something comes of it, cool. If you come on there, we have a good time, and nothing happens, cool. At least we had a moment.
so
Um,
I actually want to ask you a favor, and I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but during this broadcast, I've had a little bit of a change of heart. And so in my donation, I asked you to donate 3 tables in Mikey's name.
mhm.
I would like for you to donate 2 tables in his name
Okay,
and 1 name for your dad.
I will do that.
And so that way you can honor your dad as well.
Oh,
Um,
I've honored my dad every day I can.
this is my way of honoring him as well.
I
And
appreciate
just
it.
donate a table in his name as well. And, I really do believe in what you guys are doing. And anything that I can do to help, it's coming from a genuine place. I'm not looking to get some kind of in because of, knowing you guys. I just genuinely want to help. And like I said, I will promote for you guys. I do it all the time anyway, but
Appreciate it.
make it more formal and actually give me stuff to post and then I can help. But anyway, this is the goddess seat. Stop it. This is about you, not everybody else. Anyway, I just want you to know that you are appreciated and you are respected very highly amongst the group. And
Them niggas got a rough ratio on it.
I think that you have developed a way to interact with your group. And, I just want to celebrate your new position as COO. I know that, you and Amron are working towards really building a huge platform. And if you guys are not following, follow Opulence Radio, not the Johannesburg one. Opulence Radio _01.
Yep. Got a octopus thingy and a white background.
It does. It kind of looks sci-fi-ish. It looks like an alien head almost because of the way it comes out. It's awesome. But follow Opulence Radio. But in the interim, DC, why don't you go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you?
Everywhere. Mars, Jupiter, France,
Uranus.
Spain, India, twice on Sunday in Japan.
Awesome.
iHeart. I don't know if I'm really on any of those places. But iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, live every Wednesday at 8. Yeah, I mean, Instagram, what the shit _podcast. What the stuff on Facebook, only because Mark Zuckerberg still ain't trying to let me be the shit. But one day, Mark, you're going to be out of there, you old greasy bastard. Then I'll be the shit. A group chat near you, probably having it on mute.
And
that's about it.
Man Cave Monday.
Oh, yeah. I'm not allowed to promote myself on Opulence Radio now that I'm
so I can do it for you. He does have a show on Man Cave Monday on Opulence Radio.
9 a.m., but whatever. But yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about myself being on Opulence anymore now that I'm kind of helping things out. So
why?
It's a rule I have because I don't want personal rule.
Because you feel like you're bragging.
No, it feels like I'm taking away from the people who need it more now. I've been on Opulence Radio since the beginning. Now that I'm helping run the ship, it doesn't matter if I'm on the ship. I'm helping run the ship. So now I talk about the other shows on the ship, and my little flag is just tattered in the back. It's still there. It's on Opulence Radio.
So we have Self-Care Sunday. We have Man Cave Monday. We have Woman Wednesdays. I don't know what Tuesday is.
Oh God! Oh my God! Now you're gonna put me on the spot, and I'm gonna be such a bad. Oh Jesus!
They do have themes for their days. On Wednesdays, you can catch Savagely Humble, Dramo, and quite a few other artists. Man Cave Monday has Smash and Raw and DC, and I think Chris is on that too. Blurred's Eye.
Yes.
I'm allowed to talk about everybody because that's just what I do. But anyways.
Yeah, I can't. Unfortunately. Well, I mean, I can, but like I said, I choose not to. Only, like I said, out of fairness. Like it's only.
Absolutely. And I just respect you even more for that. And so, as I stated, make sure you're following Opulence Radio. It is Opulence Radio _01 on Instagram. They do have a TikTok as well. And make sure to follow DC on What the Shit.
Okay, so I got it. So Self-Care Sunday, Man Cave Monday, Talk Your Shit Tuesday. Talk Your Shit, see? Got it from
Talk Your
anyway,
Shit.
Women's Wednesdays. You got the Blurred Takeover Thursdays, Freaky Friday, and Social Saturdays.
All right. So we've got themes. We've got plenty of different shows for you guys to listen to. I know Savagely Humble will sometimes pull underground artists into her mix so they can get some airtime. If you are interested, she is accepting artists to send her music to her Instagram at Savagely Humble, or It's a Hard Knock Life podcast. And catch DC. That's not what I wanted to say. I was going to say
I mean, you can try.
The next show will be on the 11th with Big Smash and Bet the House. And that is going to be showing on Thursday. And I just want to thank you again, DC, for coming. I know we had a little bit of difficulty getting you here, and you were the only interview that's actually going to air right after we record.
Yes.
This will be airing on Tuesday. But in the interim, thank you so much for waking up today. I love you. And be nice. It's easy.
God, what you been missing.
Yeah, yo. Soft words and harsh truths. You got issues, I got issues.